If history had taken a different turn, Princess Diana would also be First Lady and may be coming face to face to King Charles and Queen Camilla on a state visit. Just imagine with me for a second. In the meantime, you are here with me. I'm Deanna from Hot for History. I like to give you some quirky history facts as well as some royal news and royal commentary. So President Donald Trump and our First Lady Melania have been given the royal welcome by King Charles and Queen Camilla on this amazing state visit, which is Donald Trump's second state visit to the UK. Donald Trump visits the United Kingdom, and whenever that happens, he makes headlines. But imagine if one of those visits included his being not with Melania Trump as his wife, but as Princess Diana as the First Lady and his wife. I know it sounds far-fetched. I know it sounds strange, but there was a time when that could have possibly happened. If Diana had been interested, let's go back to 1992. In 1992, Diana separated from Charles. Following the announcement of the separation, Donald Trump reportedly began courting her. It was all no holds barred for him because he was sending lavish gifts to Diana and all this, according to Selena Scott. She said that Trump bombarded Diana with flowers, orchids, roses, and Diana was, quite frankly, creeped out by him. She said, "He gives me the creeps." Selena Scott wrote that Trump clearly saw Diana as his perfect trophy wife and that he was pursuing her so hard that it felt like stalking to Diana. They did meet once, but they never ever dated. Then after Diana died in 1997, Trump appeared on the Howard Stern show, and Howard Stern said, "You could have nailed her, right?" And Trump says, "Yeah, I think I could have." But then in 2000, Trump doubles down and he says, "She was crazy, but those are minor details." And then in 2016, Trump backtracks in an interview with Piers Morgan, where he said, "I did respect her, but no interests from that standpoint." I think not. But I did meet her once, and I thought she was lovely. So Christopher Anderson, the royal reporter and royal biographer, said when it comes to the younger royals, especially giving the crude remarks that Trump has made in the past about Diana, it's hard to imagine Charles, William, Harry, and Kate viewing Trump as anything but crass and overbearing. All of this to say, I know it's kind of crazy that we are even thinking about this, but when I see Trump and Melania looking really great with Camilla and Charles, one just has to beg to think, had he married Diana, what would have happened? This is an alternate history type of view on Donald Trump, Princess Diana, the royal family, America's first family, and the White House being the Trumps. Hypothetically, imagine Diana accepting Trump's advances in the mid-90s. Instead of fading from the spotlight and being all over Europe and maybe even not passing away, she decides she's stepping into it again as Donald Trump's wife. This time, she's the glamorous wife in New York to this mogul. I don't think he was her type to begin with, but I'm just going into this alternate history thing. So when Trump becomes president, then Diana isn't just the people's princess. She is the First Lady of the United States. Also, by the way, she's also the future Queen Mother should Prince William become king as she's First Lady. Just imagine. So then there would be a state visit. Now, who knows if at that point the King Charles would even invite her. Maybe they would have been on great terms. Everything was just fine because now he's married to Queen Camilla. She's married to Trump. Everything's fine. And he does get his state visits. First, Diana would be visiting with the Queen, whatever year it was. Diana flies in with President Trump on Air Force One into the UK. And the press goes crazy because Diana, who was once destined to be queen and will be Queen Mother, so she will, in a sense, be queen, is now returning also as America's First Lady. She has power on both sides. King Charles is not just hosting the US president, but his former wife. And Queen Camilla is the queen who she was the mistress. And so it's dramatic. Queen Camilla, long vilified as the other woman, must face Diana across the table at a state visit. All of this alternate history to say, would anything like this ever happen? If Diana were Mrs. Trump or the First Lady of the United States, would Charles, now king, even have invited Donald Trump for a second state visit? Here's the Queen Mother twist. Later, when William ascends to the throne, Diana, already First Lady, would simultaneously be the Queen Mother. No figure in history would ever have held both of those positions. William might feel conflicted because he also would then be part of the first family in America. Probably never would have happened because of all the political confusion. Anyhow, that's why it was meant to be that he did not date Diana and she did not date him. But he also might have some pride in the fact that she survived all of this drama to ascend into an interesting position, right? Now, currently, William in real life may be uneasy with Trump because he did mock her memory after she passed by saying things like, I could have nailed her, according to what we're hearing regarding Howard Stern. Had Princess Diana, been the First Lady, the headlines would have been something like, from princess to POTUS partner, Diana's second crown. The monarchy thrives on restraint, but Diana's marriage to Trump would turn every state event into a theater of rivalries. So, going back to the reality, in 1997, Diana tragically died in Paris. Very sad, global drama, very, very sad. And 1 year later, Trump meets Melania. After Diana dies, 1 year after that, he meets Melania Naus, now Melania Trump, who would become his wife and eventually America's First Lady. And Melania, with her elegance and beauty and looking like a fashion model, carved out her own role in history, has her own Cinderella story, which is also very interesting and dramatic. It's just fascinating to imagine how different things might have been if, instead of Melania, the world had seen Diana step into that role. Personally, I don't think Diana and Donald Trump ever would have been a good couple. But the alternate history idea, thinking about it, is very interesting. In truth, Diana never reciprocated Trump's advances. She was not interested. She thought he was creepy. She found him unsettling and laughed them off in private, even though he was sending roses and orchids and gifts. But the what if lingers. What if Diana had lived and married Donald Trump? What if she had walked into Buckingham Palace, not as Charles's ex-wife, but as the First Lady of the United States? And later, Britain's Queen Mother. Imagine what she could have done. Instead, Diana's memory remains fiercely protected by William and Harry, and it was Melania, not Diana, who walked beside Trump into the White House. So sometimes history's greatest dramas are the ones that never, ever happened.